What's up, guys? Welcome back into the Millennial Profit. My name's Adam and I'm a full-time reseller. If you're new here, I'll show you all different kinds of ways to make money. So if you like money, hit that subscribe button. Today I'm going to be doing another what sold video, showing you guys everything that's sold from not over the weekend. Actually, I've been on vacation for the last 4 days. So it's going to be everything that's sold the last 4 days on eBay vacation mode. Plus we've got some Amazon, Mercari, Poshmark sales, all of that good stuff, all on vacation mode. So sales were absolutely booming for being on vacation. Honestly, it was almost like I didn't even turn my store off. So I'm heading out to the warehouse right now, and then I will get everything gathered up and show you guys everything that's sold. And at the end of the video, we will talk about the total profit I made on everything. And before I gather everything up, I listed all this, so I've got to put all of this away. All right, I've put everything away that I've listed. Now it's time to gather up everything that's sold. Also, I've been asked a couple times lately on how I do my labels and my inventory system and everything. I will be making a video clearing all that up. It's kind of an unorthodox system, but it works for me. So be on the lookout for that video soon. Let's gather everything up that's sold. All right, everything is gathered up. Let's break it down. All right, so I'm just going to be going item by item, and you guys liked the last couple what sold videos where I was packing everything up, kind of showing you how to pack everything. Even though I mainly sold shoes and hats, which is my bread and butter and what I sell, I will still show you guys how I pack everything. So starting off, if you guys watched that Academy and that Kohl's clearance event video, oh my gosh, we went absolutely crazy in that, and that's pretty much what all of these are. So the first 1, 2, 3 rows are all Kohl's, so they will be an additional 50% off the tags. I'm going to show you all of the shoes first, and then I'll just pack them in a time lapse. That way I'm not yapping for too long. These were actually online not too long ago, maybe last year. Wasn't the best flip. These were $30. Nice looking pair, but only sold for like 65. They were going for like 75, 85 when I picked them up, and I moved a bunch of them. Had a couple left though, and the market was tanked on them, so I kind of just had to move them. And then the rest of these should be from in-store, so the tags will show up exactly what I paid for them. So an extra 50% off of that, so 50% off of $68, 34 bucks on these. I believe I sold these for like 70 or 75 bucks. Then we've got these Nike Air Maxes here. I think those are women's, half of 57. Pretty nice looking pair there, bright pink. Sold those for 75. I got several pairs of those, and those are selling really well. These, we got some Adidas here, half of 63. And sold those ones for 70 or 75 as well. Then we've got these New Balances here, half of 45. Absolute crazy deal on those. Sold those for 60. And again, I'm just pulling these numbers off the top of my head, but the numbers at the end of the video will reflect it. I may be $5 or $10 off on some of these. Probably low on some and probably a little high on some. So don't quote me on everything, because the complete numbers are in the end of the video. And that is the actual profit margin. Next, the next two of these are some Converse boots, which was an absolutely insane deal. Let me fix that tag up. $24 on those. We got 2 pairs of those. They are really nice boots. I mean, the bottoms on those are super nice. And I'm getting 70 for those just to prime the pump, because I had so many. And what I mean by prime the pump is just trying to get that listing hot to the top so that I can sell a bunch of them, because I've got like 20 pairs of those. So now that I've sold a few pairs, I think that's pair number 2 and 3 that I've sold, I'm going to raise it up to like 75, and we'll just keep raising it up as we sell more, because that listing will just keep steamrolling. It's got a ton of views and a ton of watchers right now. Another pair of Converses. These are some Malden Streets. $22 or $23 after you take the 50% off. So those for 65. We got these New Balances, $24. Sold those for 70. That's a nice like blue leather pair. Then we got some Cole Haans, half of $47.50, so like 24 bucks on those. And I'm getting like 65 to 70 for these. These next two are just like the different colorways of the same thing. Those were $20 though, which is absolutely insane. And getting like 65 to 70 for most of those. We have Academy, which that clearance event was an extra 75% off of the tags, and I've sold so many of the shoes and I still have like half the shoes to list. So 75% off of $49, so like $12.50 on these kids cleats. People were leaving these kids cleats behind, but they only weigh like 12 ounces, and I just, as you'll see, throw them in like a bubble mailer and they're perfectly fine because they don't weigh anything. So they're really cheap to ship, and I sold them for $45. Same price on these, $12.50 for some indoor soccer cleats. Those sold for like $50 or $55. Then I've never sold these TYRs before, but I watched the challenge and they're always wearing TYR, so that's kind of how I knew it was kind of like a CrossFit brand. So I looked it up. So they were $25 and I sold them for 80 bucks. Really cool looking shoes here with the USA stars and stripes on the bottom. Then we got some Brooks here. 75% off of the 65, so like 16 or 17 bucks, which crazy to find some Brooks at Academy that cheap, because I sold them for $75 and I still have another pair of those. And yes, the box just broke, but have no fear, I meant to mention that anyway. So these half box ones that I got from Academy, I list them as new without box. I just store them in these so that I can slide them on my shoe racks, and they fit nicely and obviously have everything I need to know for my SKU and everything. I'll just recycle these half boxes, but most of these, you'll see how I pack them. I'll probably just slide them in polys or boxes. And then we've got some boxed ones here. So about 24, 25 bucks. If you remember in that Academy video, I got a bunch of these lacrosse cleats. Those are selling super well for like 68 bucks. That was a bigger size, and then, yeah, that's the same exact one. So that is it for the shoes. Now we just need to get everything back to how I had it so that I can actually pack these bad boys. So I'll show an example of an unboxed and then an example of a boxed, and then we'll time lapse. Like I said, on these, they're actually, I think they were 8 ounces, if I remember correctly. No, they were 12 ounces, but man, they're close to 8 ounces. I'm just gonna throw in a bubble. If they were just shoes, kids' shoes, I would just throw them in a padded, but I don't want the cleats to rip the padded, although kids' cleats are not very sharp at all, so they probably wouldn't, but I got these bubbles for free from the post office anyway, so I might as well use them. Easy peasy, seal it up, label on there, good to go. All right, next I'm going to do a boxed one. Obviously, I need to take that tag off. I get those questions all the time. Take the clearance tags off, leave the MSRP tags on. Even though I paid half of that, the tag here says $57. They paid $75 for these. Also, none of these shoes are going to authentication, so I will be sending them in my trusty 14.5 by 19-inch mailer. I got links to everything I buy down below as well. So if it's not going to authentication, then it doesn't need to be boxed, in my opinion. A lot of people will get mad at me, and they always do in the comments, and that's perfectly fine. I really appreciate the engagement. But for me in my business, I like to save penny pinches anywhere I can. And by sending this in a bag, these women's shoes were 2 pounds, under 2 pounds. And if I would have sent them in a box, they would have been over, which would have pushed the rate up about 50 cents to $1 times however many shoes that is. That adds up over time. Never had anyone complain about it. When people are buying bricks like this, I don't think they actually care about the box. And you may say you do in the comments, but if you do, you haven't bought shoes from me before because you never said anything. Now, if it's going to authentication, send in a box because the box needs to be in good condition. However, I've ordered a lot of shoes online as well and gotten them in polys, and I've never had any issues. Like, the box has been pretty good shape. So that's how I'm going to be shipping everything. Cue the time lapse. Okay, I may have lied. There's a couple cleats over here, but we're not going to get into those next. We're going to do some hats People seem to like the hats in this video because that is my bread and butter, so that is kind of taking over my business right now. However, I will say, even though I sell this many hats, and you can see how many hats I sold in a 4-day span, 1 pile, 2 pile, I think it gets a lot of people like, oh my gosh, I need to start selling hats. Look how many hats he's selling. As I've said in past videos, I have anywhere between 4,000 and 6,000 hats in inventory right now and sell between like 8 to 20 a day. 20 is more like Q4. Right now I'm selling like 5 to 10 a day usually. So if you're just starting out, I would not recommend getting into hats. This is a beginner channel. Unfortunately, one of my bread and butters is probably the longest sellers on eBay. A lot of these take 6 months to 2 years to sell, so they are investments, and I like that longer term inventory. Also, it's important to note with hats, like a lot of these, you're not going to find exact comps on them because there's so many different styles of them. So it's really something you just have to learn over time and with experience, buying bad hats, buying good hats, knowing what to look for next time. So it's a tough category to get in, and it takes a while to get your money back and get in the profit. So that's why I don't recommend it starting out. Shoes, great thing to get into because that's all based off of sell-through rates. You can find the exact styles, find exactly what they're selling for, know what you can sell it for, know how long it's going to take to sell, whereas hats are not that. So if you're getting into it, get into shoes and other quicker rates. Hats are a longer term game. First off though, we've got some Cincinnati Reds. Both of these were from TJ Maxx, yellow tagged. $6 for those suckers. And I sold these on Amazon. I got 30 for this one, and then this one I got 35 for the camo. And then we got a couple more Marshalls here. We've got this Oklahoma, which normally I wouldn't buy for $12.99, but I had some money from my TJ Maxx credit card, so I had enough to get like 5 of these for free. So I ended up getting this for free, and I sold it for 30 bucks. Then we've got this OBU Bison hat. $1 red tagged. I don't know what the yellow tag would have been if it would have gotten there, but $1, sold it for like 15 from the Academy sale, if you remember correctly. Extra 75% off. I picked these up, so those were $5. Absolutely insane. Sold this one for 25 on Mercari and sold the red one on eBay for 25. Then we've got a lot of $10 hat sales, but before that, we got some $5 hat sales, which this proves how long it takes hats to sell. They haven't had a $5 hat sale in probably 2 to 3 years. We got this Ohio State hat first. That one sold on eBay for 20 bucks. Got like 23 or 24 for this Washington Nationals hat. We've got this Oakley hat that sold for 28. And then we've got this Tigers hat that came without tags, but it is in Armed Forces. Sold it for 30. Then these are all from the $10 hat sale. Again, Bread and Butter knows what's up with the $10 hat sales. That happen like twice a year. Can't give up all my sources, I'm sorry. I give up a ton for free on this channel. We've got this Carhartt hat here, 47 brand, co-branded Carhartt Patriots, and sold that one for 45 on eBay. So we got some high dollar hats in here. I'm really getting into the high dollar hat game, which is pretty fun. You got to pay up for some of these. Not this stack, the next stack especially, but I'm starting to learn the markets of some of these teams and some of the styles of hats and how much they go for. So it's been pretty fun. We got $35 for this Astros golfer. McLaren got 40 bucks for that sucker. Sold this on Poshmark for $32. Guardians. Sold 2 Cincinnati Reds, Mitchell and Ness. These just went for $30 a piece. Good looking hat there though. We got this Braves Rawlings co-brand and 47 brand. Really good looking hat. Sold that for $40. Got $35 for this Hawks. $30 for this Expos. This one is going to shock you. I got $55 for this hat. Take a wild guess over the next like 3 seconds what this is. You will never guess. It is a sloth hat, and I have like 7 or 8 of these left. Absolutely insane. I don't know, this was really rare when I found it, and I found a whole stack of them, but that's my second one I've sold for $55, so I'm not upset about it. Then someone bought 4 of these Cleveland hats. $40 a piece or $35 a piece. Oh, this is flipping from 0, but I'll mention it just because it's sweet. We got the Whataburger hats. Again, those were $5. Picked them up in that series. Selling them for $35. We got this Rockies that I meant to sell for $35 free ship, but I accidentally turned calculated shipping on, which I don't usually do. I do free shipping on most everything, and it still sold. So it sold for $35 plus $6.10 randomly shipping. So not upset about that. Then we got this Chicago Blackhawks hat here, like a foam trucker. Sold it for $30. Next, this stack is some randos. Actually, starting off, these are from my local embroidery shop that went out of business, but I used to get a bunch of good like $1 and $2 hats. They just overrun. I got this Ichiro hat, really cool looking hat. Got Miami on the back. Sold that for $25. Got this FC Austin 940. Sold that for $20, I think. And then got like $18 for this Canada Ski Cross hat. Really random. Next, I got this Dodgers hat. Shout out to Cole. I think he called these out in the group. These were anywhere between like $6 and $8 when we called them out. And selling for like 25 or 30 bucks all day long, depending on the color. Got some beige, brown, and orange of those. And then the rest of these are all from various like wholesale deals or maybe some online sales that I've gotten them, but I don't know exactly. I know my cost of goods on them. It's just sometimes I don't put in my SKU like exactly where I got them. So most of them will be anywhere between like probably $10 to $12. I usually don't go any higher than $12 if I'm doing a wholesale deal, but sometimes if I'm getting a higher end hat like this was in a $12 hat wholesale deal where I bought several hundred hats. It is a Boston Celtics 2021 City Edition. Nobody has this out there, even though it's a small size, 7 1/8. I still got $55 for it because nobody had it. So I'll pay up for lots like that, but I'm not going to pay up for all of them as well. I think this was in the same lot. This was one of the lower end ones in that, but I got like 35 or 40 for that. This was in like a $10 lot. Just sold it for 30. This was in that $12 lot, I believe. Denver Nuggets City Edition, sold it for 40. Lakers metallic logo here, sold that one for 40. Got 40 for this St. Patrick's Day Cardinals hat. 35 or 40 for this Golden State Warriors like cream and blue hat. This was a big hat, size 8. We got the Atlanta Braves, the old logo with the All-Star Game patch. Really good looking hat. Sold it for 40. Got this Ohio State Buckeyes National Champs hat. Got my own on right now too. Sold it for 30 bucks. Then we've got this Boston Red Sox black A-frame hat that sold for 35. 35 on the rest of these as well. That is Mets, and then these are Montreal Expos. So that is it for the hats. Now time to upset some people. Let's go. This is my favorite part of these videos. We've got these unstructured hats, which I've been asked several times what unstructured means. Unstructured means it cannot hold itself up, so there's like no crown to the hat there. That's unstructured. Structured, that is structured. See how it's standing up by itself. So these unstructured hats, I will put in 13 by 10 poly mailers. Nothing happens to them. I ship thousands of these hats every single year like this. Don't have any issues. They get to the buyer perfectly fine. Dick's Sporting Goods even sends freaking flat bills in in polys, and that's when I started thinking about it. Plus when I got an iPad and a poly mailer. Got to take these off. I didn't take the big tag off on the last one because it said $34, so they would be thinking they got a deal, but I still can't believe I got these for $5. That's crazy. Like 2 weeks after. They must have just way over ordered. So that's how I'll pack the unstructured ones. Unless it's over like 30 bucks, then I'll throw it in a box. And then the structureds, I will put in these 8x6x6 boxes that I get from either Staples, Zorro, Amazon, whoever has the best deal at the time. So fairly self-explanatory. Tape the box up. Got to put the hat in on an angle in these 8x6x6 boxes. Don't just put it straight in or it won't fit. I've heard a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, I bought the 8x6x6 boxes you said to buy and I can't fit the hat. Come on, people. It's 8x6x6 is the one I go with because it's just big enough for the hat, so it keeps it under 8 ounces. You can go 8x8x8 and have it not be so snug, but then it's going to be over 8 ounces, so then it defeats the purpose because the thresholds for ground advantage are 4, 8, 12, 15.9. So every time you go over one of those, the price goes up. So that's the point of sending the hat and the poly, to keep it under 4 ounces versus a box, which is under 8. But you don't want the bigger boxes because it'll be over 8. So just waste a penny pinch and save more money. All right, so time-lapse time for the hats. All right, and that is all the hats minus these 4, which I'm gonna detag and then put in this big box. Then I'll show you all the other stuff. We've got some clothing, we got some loose shoes, like I said, got some bucket hats, got some yard art, got some cards, a little bit of everything. So I'm kind of trying to keep hats and shoes as my bread and butter that I can consistently source, and then anything else I find that I can see that I can make money on, I kind of pick up. I'm kind of trying to get out of clothing personally. I really don't like clothing. I just don't like listing it, and I don't want to sell things that I don't enjoy listing. I like listing hats. I like listing shoes. I like shipping them both as well. So those are something I'm going to really focus more time on. Obviously, I've been selling a lot of hats and shoes over the past years, but I'm kind of really getting deep into the game now. Save all your boxes also. That's just a box I got in the mail that as you can see, I'm re-taping over. And that is a massive hat stack. I am 6 foot, if that tells you how tall this is. Obviously, it's not from the ground. It's from about a little above my knees, but crazy. All right, what else do we have? Let's bring over a bunch of random crap. Got to get out some more 13 by 10 mailers. Switching from teal to black, it looks like now. We'll use a couple teal ones though first. All right, so first off, we've got this Notre Dame beanie. Shout out to Karen for calling this out in bread and butter. This was like last year in the summer. We like to source a lot of the beanies and stuff like that in the summer when they're unloading those, as well as like boots and other winter things like that, jackets. Those were $6 and sold it for $22. I'll do the same thing in the winter too. I've been loading up on tons of like summer Crocs, hats for me in the off season. So like over the winter, I've loaded up on a ton of MLB hats, and as you just saw, it has paid off because the MLB hats really start selling around spring training. Next, we got this. That was in a random $5 wholesale deal that I did. Someone was just unloading a bunch of their hats in the wholesale channel in the group, so I picked up some of those, and I sold it on eBay for like 20, I believe. And as you can see, bucket hats fit very easily in the 12 by 10 mailer. Nothing will happen to them. They're very flimsy. This one was from these little staticky things from the poly stick to you guys too. I swear I have them literally all over the place, just stuck to everything. Next, this was from the Dick's Warehouse sale, extra 75% off of that $25, so about $7, and sold it on eBay for $28.50, really random price. Normally I do to the $99. I don't know why I did that day. All right, then we got some cleats, which are all bad. These are all bad purchases. I stopped going to Ross and Burlington and sourcing cleats and stuff like that. Just too many people were doing it, tanking the markets on stuff. People just like to lose money on things. These were red tagged for like $15. I sold them for like 35 or 40. So I'm not losing money, but it's just not even worth my time. These were like $20 at Ross. Really good looking cleat. These used to go for like 60, $70. more people got in it. Probably my fault, to be honest, or some other resellers that let people know where we're getting all this stuff. So that's why I can't give away a lot of my hat sources and things like that. I give away as much as I possibly can for free. But anyways, those sold for like 48 or 50 bucks. And then these weren't too bad. I believe these were like 50 bucks at Burlington. Spikeless golf shoes, sold them for like 50, so like 20 to 50. Not bad, and these are really light, so these will go in a poly. Let's go through the last bit of random crap that we have. Got a bunch of clothes. Like I said, I got some cards. And then I have sold so many of these yard figures. We got we got Yankees. We got Red Sox. These things are like yard arts for Christmas, but not for Christmas, for baseball. So you can stick them in the yard. They light up. They're really cool. I got these at one of my auction houses when I used to do online auctions several years ago. I haven't done online auctions in a long time, but I got cases of these, and I probably have $1 or $2 in each one of these. I get 20 bucks a piece, and they are just under a pound, which is even more clutch. So I'll throw those in big polys. I dropped these were between them. So anyone asking how I do my labels, so I print them off and then I write on them. I don't know if you can even see what they are. So the hats and the shoes are easy because I can put them in the hats, I can put them in the shoe boxes. But then stuff like this, like these, I still have to print the label on and put that in the final numbers. Kind of hopping subject to subject here, but we've got these Topps Chromes that were a bad buy. I tried to learn trading cards, sealed boxes, investments and stuff. These I kind of just sold back at what I had in them. I think it was like $200 or something. So I'll end up taking an L on those, but that's all right. These I got in that thrifting deal that I did. We got a Nike shirt that just sold for 20 bucks. And then we got this Shaq Cavs shirt jersey that just sold for like 10 bucks. I was just trying to get something out of that and did. So that wasn't the best buy. This was from Academy. These were like $3.40 if you remember in that video. Ohio State shirts. Getting 18 for those. Insane. I'm not going to open up the rest of these actually because they all have the labels in them. We got this Darius Garland Cavs jersey. This was from Burlington. Some of them I got for $9.99. Some were $12.99 depending on the Burlington. Picked up a bunch of those and selling them for 40 bucks on eBay. If I don't mention where I sold something, it's most likely eBay. I figure I haven't mentioned on a lot of these where I sold them, but they were all eBay. We got Marshalls here on this Kentucky Wildcats Devin Booker jersey. 20 bucks, sold it for like 50 or 55. We got this Ohio State pullover. Back when I was sourcing clothes heavily, $10 at Marshalls, sold it for 30. And then we've got these Levi's jeans that were from Kohl's. Looks like I already took the Kohl's tag off, but that was several Kohl's videos ago, a year or two ago, when I was getting these for like $6 to $12 in that one sale. Sold these ones for 40. First off, how would I pack the clothing? Literally gonna pack all the clothing in one of these 12 by 10 mailers again. I don't put them in anything special. This one just happened to be in it since I bought the lot out. So a lot of people will put them in these clear bags. I don't do that. Just seems like an extra step to me and never have any problems. So again, if I don't have any problems, I don't have anything to fix. That'll just add more time, more costs. So I just kind of throw all these in polys and we're good to go. They're in a good sturdy box. So I just pull out one of these. I think this is a 19 by 24. This is the biggest size mailer I use. I actually should get another size up because some things quite don't fit in there. But I just put these in here. Seal it up. And then I like to make it look better. Plus it cuts down on the dimensions a little bit. That was Yankees. Then we just slap a label on it. Good to go. So I'm going to pack the rest of this and then we'll start wrapping this video up and get into the final numbers. Oh my goodness. What a vacation. All right, so before this all falls on me, let's run down those final numbers. On eBay, we sold 80 items for $3,594. On Amazon, we sold 2 items for $65. On Poshmark, we sold 1 item for $32. And on Mercari, we sold 2 items for $41 for a total of 85 orders for $3,732 in gross sales. Now, as always, to get our total net profit, we need to take out all of our costs. So take out our cost of goods sold, $1,202. Take out our shipping of $493 and take out our fees of $467 to give us a total net profit from this 4-day vacation of $1,570. Now, to get our profit per day, divide that by each day. So divide by 4, $392.50 per day while on vacation. So that is a little lower than what it would be typically if you watch my normal What Sold videos that are over like a 2.5 day span. But on vacation mode, where it tells buyers I'm going to be home late and I'm going to be shipping later, to be able to make that many sales is absolutely insane, and to be able to make almost $400 profit per day while on vacation. Yeah, there's still work involved when I get home, but I was already going to package stuff up when I get home anyway, so it's pretty cool to be able to come back to that many sales. And as always, all glory goes to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I would not be able to do any of this without him in my life. Certainly wouldn't have all the success. Certainly wouldn't be able to share it with you all. He is everything, and I will always give him all of the glory. If you heard me mention a couple times in this video, Bread and Butter, that's my personal Discord community and leads group. You can check that out, first link in the description, for daily in-store and online leads, as well as a full eBay course included in that. So that will about wrap it up. I hope you guys are enjoying this new format of What Sold video, kind of showing packaging at the same time as well. Be looking in the near future for the inventory and the labels video on how I'm doing all of that. I'm going to be trying to make that in the next week or so. Let me know down below any videos you guys want to see, whether that's tutorials or sourcing or more of these What Solds. I will try to appease to the audience and whatever you guys want to see. So there's money to be made everywhere, guys. Let's go get it. Thank you for watching The Millennial Prophet.